A little known but powerfully moving story about one woman's heroic efforts to save Jewish children during the Holocaust in Poland was celebrated last month at Elms College in Chicopee. The life and work of Irena Sendler, a Polish Catholic social worker who outsmarted the Nazis, saving 2,500 Jewish children from death in the Warsaw Ghetto, is the subject of a documentary and a long-running high school play. Irena Sendler was a seasoned social worker in Poland when World War II began. She organized, along with her co-workers, a group to get help to Jews inside the Warsaw Ghetto who were starving and were eventually deported to Nazi camps. Sendler made it her mission to try to rescue as many children as possible. She placed them with foster families or in convents or orphanages until the war was over, hoping they would be reunited with their biological families. The penalty for giving any kind of help to a Jewish person during the war was death. Mary Skinner is a California filmmaker who has brought Sendler's story to the screen, capturing an account of her life and works. Her film was screened at the Elms College.
And so she was taking a huge risk, as were all of the other women that she collaborated with. And at one point she was caught by the Gestapo and she was tortured, and eventually she was supposed to be executed. But her comrades in this underground organization bribed a German guard, and she was able to escape from the Gestapo prison in Warsaw.
Sendler spent the rest of the war underground under an assumed name, then returned to social work, eventually helping to reunite these children with their biological families. Together, the group saved some 2,500 Jewish children, protecting them throughout the war. This story went largely untold during the time of the Russian occupation of Poland following the war until the early 1990s, when communist rule was lifted. When the story began to circulate, Skinner says she had the chance to meet Sendler and convinced her to be the subject of her documentary. Skinner also told me of a fascinating connection that Sendler had with St. John Paul II through a holy card containing the image of the Divine Mercy that Sendler had carried with her for many years.
One day she had had a particularly brutal session with the Gestapo, and she was thrown back into her cell to sleep on this straw mattress, and she felt this holy card under the mattress.
A sign from her co-workers in the underground that help was on the way. Sendler carried this holy card with her for many years, until the day that Pope John Paul II visited Warsaw. She waited in a long line to meet the pontiff, giving him the holy card as a gift. Years later, when she was very well known for her acts of courage, John Paul II wrote Sendler a letter.
And in the letter he enclosed another copy of that holy card. So there was a very special relationship between them in a strange way, and she had that letter framed on her wall, and it sat next to a mosaic that had been given to her by the chief rabbi of Israel. And she used to say, "I have a letter from the Pope and a letter from the chief rabbi on my wall side by side. That's how we do things in my room."
Irena Sendler's story is an inspiration to many, including today's social workers, says Elms College professor of social work, Scott Hartblay.
That story, I think, needs to be kept being told and told, well, not only for her as a righteous person, as a hero, I see that, but also for what we all could do, if we were in situations like that.
For the past 4 years, the Elms Department of Social Work has presented the Irena Sendler Award to a senior social work student who demonstrates courage and creativity during his or her college career. And because the Elms felt so connected to Sendler's story, they also hosted a production of Life in a Jar, the Irena Sendler Project. This traveling play has been produced by students from a small town in Kansas since 1999.
Your children, they need to be taken out of here. They could die in the ghetto, or worse, be taken to a death camp.
The play was written by 3 students of history teacher Norm Kennard. They have performed it for audiences all over North America and even in Poland. This was their first trip to Western Massachusetts. Kennard says the play resonates with everyone.
A USA Today reporter at the beginning of this project said that he loved the story because it was a story about Protestant kids from rural Kansas who discover a Polish Catholic woman who saved Jewish children. And we always like that line because it is a story for all people.